Hi everyone, it's Chenso from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about Survivor Season 50, Episode 5, titled Open Wounds. Last week on Survivor, a lot of Zach Brown, and after messy Vatu tribe lost another immunity challenge, Christian orchestrated a 3-2-1 vote against self-proclaimed con artist Mike White. Before I dive in, I put links below to my playlist to catch up on my previous recaps, and to try Paramount Plus for free. If you like the video, consider liking and subscribing to get more same-day Survivor recaps. But let's dive into it. We pick back up where we left off. At Vatu, Ozzy is still pissed that he wasn't included in the plan. Christian calls this a tantrum. Ozzy is threatening to use his shot in the dark, which reminds Christian of how Ozzy reacted to Cochran's behavior on South Pacific. Christian worries that Ozzy sees Christian as Cochran 2.0, saying he's poking at Ozzy's open wounds, and oop, Christian said the thing yet again. Christian owns the move to Ozzy, saying Emily was just a pawn in it, so Ozzy still trusts Emily and is motivated to get revenge on Christian. The next day, Ozzy meditates. He gets his attitude in check and approaches Christian with a big hug and apology. Christian accepts and hopes Ozzy is being genuine about repairing things, but Ozzy tells us he will not forget. Ozzy tells Steph that Christian is cutthroat and would lie to anyone to get ahead. Steph and Ozzy bond because Steph knows Ozzy has the idol from when Genevieve sent it to him. Together, they feel in control of the vote this round. At Sila, the original Kalos, Charlie, Jonathan, Camilla, and Dee have the majority. Devins tries to bond with Jonathan with a fart and a joke. Jonathan, I guess, loves the fart and invites Devins into their alliance. Jonathan tells Devins they're targeting Rizzo, but Dee has other plans. Dee approaches Rizzo, asking him to work with she, Camilla, and Suri on the next vote. He's into it and tells Dee how the Billie Eilish idol works. At Callow, Coach is being silly, telling us he's the most socially aware he's ever been. He's beloved and in the majority with Chrissy, Joe, and Colby. Coach declares himself the Tide Walker, who in ancient Japanese lore moves around obstacles, not through them. He promises Joe a final two and tells us he plans to bring Joe and Colby to the end. Coach knights Joe the Stone Bell after monks who are strong and trustworthy, and Colby the Oak-bound warrior who looks into the face of evil. These two are eating up their new names. Colby tells us he's ready to go full tilt for Coach. Elsewhere, Tiffany and Aubrey continue to bond, and Aubrey continues to be motivated to get Genevieve before Genevieve gets Aubrey. Aubrey approaches Coach, telling Coach she wants to work with him. Coach tells us he's down to scoop Aubrey up as an ally with his rosary beads in hand, so I'm buying what he's saying is true. Coach is really feeling himself on this day. At night, on Sila, Charlie is still ruminating about how Rizzo is a bad juror. He's disturbed. Charlie wakes Rizzo up to ask Rizzo who he's told the details of the Billie Eilish idol to. Rizzo is honest that he told Dee, and Charlie tells Rizzo that he told Jonathan how the idol works. Rizzo is rightfully annoyed, and in honor of Taylor Swift, Rizzo deems his new plan Operation Bad Blood to get Charlie out. The next day, Rizzo recruits Dee, telling Dee that he has the idol, and Suri, who's down to team up to save her game. Players head to their challenge where Jeff takes back immunity, cause that thing's back up for grabs. In their challenge, they'll climb to gather coconuts, unlock a grappling hook to get their sandbags, and land their 5 sandbags on their targets. The first tribe to finish this wins immunity because whoa mama, 2 losing tribes are going to tribal and will each vote someone out. Kalos sits out Chrissy and Colby, at which point Colby has a confessional telling us he hurt his foot in the last challenge, and Camilla and Devins sit out for Sila. They get started. Jonathan gets the Silas to a quick lead, cutting through the air like an arrow, with Ozzy putting in work to catch right up to Jonathan. Joe is going through it. He's exhausted. The Kalos are struggling to start. Jonathan made a big hole for Charlie to slide right through. Suri nails her role, dumping the coconuts out of the bag, but Tiffany unties her bag with the speed that impresses Jeff, but not enough to give her a confessional. Coach nails his grappling hook, followed by Angelina and Rizzo. Now everyone's throwing their bags, but Tiffany and Joe land their bags first, saving the Kalos from this terrible fate. Sila and Vatu will head to Tribal Council. Let's check in with our losers back at camp. At Sila, Rizzo is still on Operation Bad Blood, recruiting the last person he needs, Camilla, starting with telling her that Kyle told him to work with Camilla, which is a lie, and he tells Camilla how the Billie Eilish idol works. Camilla isn't buying the lie about Kyle, because Kyle was barely in the game. Charlie then approaches Camilla, also telling Camilla about the Billie Eilish idol. Camilla acts like she didn't hear this 5 minutes ago, and she doesn't like that Charlie didn't come to her first. At Vatu, they again praise Ozzy for his challenge performance. Christian wants to target Angelina, so he and Emily pitch that they all unanimously vote Angelina. Emily tells us this will be the easiest vote ever, and Emily and Christian tell Angelina to vote for Stephanie. Ozzy and Stephanie seriously consider turning on Christian and Emily, and Ozzy asks Christian to give him Christian's shot in the dark to hold to earn his trust back. Christian is annoyed with this and feels like Ozzy's trying to trick him. He calls Ozzy a prissy pants in confessional. Ozzy tells Emily he wants to work with her, but not she and Christian as a duo anymore. He pitches to Emily that they take Christian out, and Ozzy and Stephanie approach Angelina to vote for Christian as well. Emily, in true keep it between us nature, goes right to Christian and tells Christian that Ozzy's targeting him. So Christian has one last conversation with Ozzy, giving Ozzy the shot in the dark as a token of trust. Back at Sila, Rizzo tells Suri that he has the idol, and in return, Suri tells Rizzo about her extra vote. She's down to play with Rizzo, telling Rizzo they're now married in the game. Let's see how this plays out, but Rizzo might be a Fields. Rizzo tells us he's on the way to being one of the greatest of all time. He tells the group all about his season 49 antics with the idol, which makes Camilla reconsider working with Rizzo. Vatu heads to tribal first, the fifth tribal for Christian, Emily, and Ozzy. Jeff entertains the players, doing pretty good impressions of Jonathan, Colby, and Christian. This was an all-time funny moment from Jeff. They get serious, talking about trust and loyalty. Ozzy owns that he had a tantrum about the last vote. Angelina says she was happy that Ozzy made a warm fire when he was mad, and Christian says he still respects Ozzy. Angelina pitches that she was loyal to her swap tribe on her last season, and she'll be ride or die this time too. They get to voting, no advantages are played, and in the end, there's one vote in that thing for Stephanie from Angelina, and 4 votes for Angelina from everyone else. On the way out, Angelina has a stunt, giving her jacket to the tribe. So we lose Angelina here, which selfishly, as someone who loves Angelina and have wanted her to return for so long, I'm devastated. But thinking about her goals for coming on this season, seems she had 3 main objectives. Firstly, to look fabulous all the time, which she did. Second, to show she's matured and prove she isn't a crazy person, which I think she succeeded, being a reasonable voice for her entire run. And to pull this stunt with the jacket that puts a poetic bow on her Survivor experience. While I'm bummed she's gone, had she stayed, she probably could have snuck by a bit, but I don't know if she would have given that much more by way of strategies, so I'm happy she's probably happy. And if I want to get a good Angelina chuckle, I can always go rewatch Jackets and Eggs. Next, the Silas head to Tribal, where Rizzo hams it up with Jeff. Charlie changes the tone, calling it a pressure cooker. Jeff can sense that this tribe is more in game mode than his last session. Jeff points out the group doesn't know Rizzo, having never seen his season. Rizzo reminds them he played loyal through his last game, so they should want to work with him, but Camilla says Rizzo is questionable. Devins points out that Rizzo hasn't had time to see his game on TV or to process his last game, which could be an advantage to everyone else. So they get to voting, with Rizzo giving Charlie a pile of Taylor Swift references when voting for him, and Charlie votes for Rizzo, of course saying it's because he's a bad juror. Jeff reads the votes. I was surprised when there's 3 votes in that thing for Rizzo, from Charlie, Devins, and Jonathan, meaning Operation Bad Blood was a success. There's 4 votes for Charlie from Rizzo, Suri, Dee, and Camilla, meaning we lose Charlie here, who I thought was a serious winner contender when the cast dropped. We got the usual Taylor Swift references, but his game was such a mess. I'd guess he had more problems from the start that we just didn't see, but his obsession with Rizzo was such a bad look for him. It didn't make logical sense. He was so mad about how Rizzo voted as a juror that he would end up acting the fool and not end up in the final 3 this time, and not even on the jury. I wish I had nicer things to say, but he's the first person on this season, regardless of placement, who made themselves look kind of bad. On the positive side for him, there's an open door for a 3rd time around to right the wrongs, rewrite the story, put him back on with Maria and Rizzo. Jeff eats that stuff up. So that ends the episode. We've had way more devastating double eliminations. We don't talk about March 18th, 2020. The next time on showed what looks like a merge at 17 players, which is about to get crazy. There are too many combinations of people to analyze. I can't get into all of it. It's gonna be a mess. All 3 original tribes are fractured. There's no one group that really gets along, and the swap tribes don't really get along either. I think we're about to be getting back into the voting blocks era, and with 17 people on one beach, I have a lot of work to do organizing my thoughts next week. I'll be finding my zen every morning like Ozzy. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode and Angelina and Charlie's eliminations. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing, using my link to try Paramount Plus for free. Until next time, you know where to find me. Bye.